Welcome educators, and welcome anyone else who's tuning in tonight. Thank you very much for joining me. My name's Alana. I'm the founder and director of Belong, Be, Become, Wellbeing for Early Childhood Professionals. And I might start with a Happy New Year. Happy 2022, everyone. I hope that everyone had a lovely break if you had one. I know we all didn't get that opportunity around Christmas and New Year's, and depending on what was going on with the COVID situation, I hope that you managed to find some kind of rest or restoration for yourself. And I just hope that you've been taking care and been spending time with people that make you smile and doing things that you enjoy and just enjoying this mostly beautiful weather. I feel like we're going to need to build an ark pretty soon if you're living in Sydney. The weather's been a little bit intense with the rain, but for the most part it's been beautiful. So welcome to Belong, Be, Become's very first Facebook Live for 2022. I've called this workshop, which it is in essence a workshop, and all of the Facebook Lives are really, honouring what was and marvelling at what will be. And to break that down, what I think is really important is that, you know, we all come into this new chapter, generally a new year, or maybe after a birthday, where we feel like we're really empowered to make some changes in our lives, some positive changes. And we are constantly thinking, okay, what can we do better? What can we do more of? How can we grow? How can we change? What do we do next? But quite often we haven't actually acknowledged all the things that we've done to bring us to this moment, to this point in time, who have made us who we are now. And I just think that's really important. So tonight we're going to be doing half honouring the past, which is pretty much just the year that was. And for the next part, looking forward to the future, creating some intentions and some affirmations for the year ahead. So let's just tune into ourselves a little bit first. So just before, some little housekeeping things before we officially get started. All you'll really need this evening is something comfy to sit on, so a cushion or maybe something even comfy to lie back on if you don't like sitting for a long time, and just a notepad and a pen to jot some things down. All right, so wherever you are, I hope that you're comfortable. I welcome you to, if you're sitting, sit up nice and straight with your spine, relax your shoulders down your back. If you're lying down, make sure that you are very comfy, 110% comfortable, and we'll all just close our eyes for a short moment. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Take as many deep breaths as you need to feel settled in the space that you're inhabiting, and to feel grounded in your body. Acknowledge how you're feeling both physically and emotionally. And try to be as present as you can in this moment. We're just focusing on your breath by being aware of the different sounds around you, being connected to different sensations that you're experiencing in the body. And just relaxing, giving yourself permission to be still, to be silent, as we come into our reflection. So, what I'd like to start off with is a reflection on the recurring themes for you personally in 2021. Now, you might find that it's a little bit tricky to start from January, February, go all the way through the year. And I have done this exercise myself, so I quite often will start from December and rewind my way all the way back to the beginning of the year. So if that's helpful for you, you might like to do it that way. So track all the way back as far as you can. And what I mean by themes is that I've written a couple of my own down. So some important themes for me, or some regular recurring themes from last year, were adaptation, uncertainty, surprise, connection, unpredictability, a feeling of being unsafe, and introspection. So that might give you a little bit of context when you're reflecting on the themes that that continued to come up for you. With everything that you went through, with all the challenges, all of the successes. If you like to, you can write those things down, or you can just let them live in your head. Sometimes it's good to get things out on paper and not have them boiling up inside, but if you're quite happy in your position, just reflecting, that's also fine. I'll give you a little bit more time to do that, and please, if you have anything that you'd like to put in the comments, I'm very much welcome you to do that. I was hoping that this workshop would be quite interactive, where we could share all of our different insights and experiences. And I think is that you, Al? If you're there and you're not in a deep meditative state, you can say hi. And anyone else that's watching, I know that quite often, friends of mine or those in the yoga wellbeing community will also tune in. So you're not excluded from this workshop at all. You're very much welcome to contribute your input. And why I think it's important to reflect on the recurring themes is to first of all acknowledge that, we dealt with a really, really tough situation in many ways. But there were definitely some really great things that rose out of last year. The ability to connect with the self, to perhaps connect with those that you hadn't spoken to in a long time. But to even have something common to connect with over. Sometimes it's hard to find a conversation between another person or a group of people. So, COVID seemed to be the recurring theme. And I found a lot of people could actually be quite vulnerable in their experiences because we were all going through something really similar. So in a way, it did bring us together. Okay, so reflecting on those things, let's just put that aside. But having those things now kind of come up for you and living somewhere in the forefront of the mind, think of 3 life-changing lessons that you experienced. So with these themes that kept coming up, what did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about others? What did you learn about the world? What did you learn about life? 3 big things. And if you need a little bit of inspiration, the 3 transformational or life-changing lessons personally for myself were that I learnt to go with the flow. I learnt that going with the flow was much better than resisting or forcing anything to happen. And, I'm quite an ambitious person. I like to get things done. I like to go traveling. I like to be busy. And so having those things taken away from me wasn't easy to adapt to, which was why adaptation was quite a big theme. But that was something I learned about myself, that it's actually a lot less stressful to just go with the flow of things, even if I don't like them. There's nothing that I can change. I just need to let go and move on. So that was one. The second one I learned, this might be a little bit morbid, but real, that life can be extremely unfair. And I'm sure that we can all relate to that. And if you resonate, you can put a like or comment and say something. The last thing that was quite significant for me, one of my big life lessons, was that I'm very lucky. Compared to a lot of other people, I could acknowledge that I was very lucky throughout everything that happened. Definitely had my tough times, definitely struggled, definitely went through a lot of personal challenges, but definitely understood the value of gratitude. So I'd love to hear from you guys. 3 big life-changing lessons from the year that was, and great way to really honour who you were, what you went through, how it changed you. So I've got a few more tuning in. Hopefully you guys will be willing to contribute your insights, inspire some other people. I've also adopted a dog in lockdown. I was one of those. He definitely taught me a lot about life as well. Caring for someone other than myself, maybe quite a selfless person throughout this madness we all experienced. All right, so if everyone's quite happy to just keep their big life lessons, their big transformational periods within, that's completely fine. Oh, Katie, thank you. There's many ways to be there for people. Absolutely. Maybe you could let us know the ways that you were there for others. What were some influential ways that you could be there for the people in your life? FaceTime was a godsend. And even just a check-in text, or sending a funny photo or GIF or something like that can make someone's day. It's always a nice way to be there. Oh wow, you sent letters in the mail. Oh, that's so sweet. I can't believe I didn't think of that. I would actually have loved to both send and receive mail. Oh, that's beautiful. Your friends are super lucky to have you. Thank you for sharing, Katie. All right, so we are now going to move on to the last part of this workshop, which is the meditation. So if you're not already in a comfortable position, make your way there. So let's really take a moment to settle now. Okay, so this is going to be some introspective stuff. We're not going to get, too deep. We're not going to, make ourselves cry or anything. We're just going to really get in touch with who we are, honor what happened, and move forward with some affirmations and some intentions. All right, so I welcome you again to close your eyes. And, if anything comes up for you, and you feel like it'll just be really helpful to get it down on paper, write it down. You can always break your meditation and just get things out. It's always really healthy. All right, so eyes closed, relaxing your tummy, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your jaw, softening behind your eyes. And letting the breath just breathe the body. I want you to firstly recognize and honor who you are now, who you are in this moment. body, mind, and heart. And then I'd like you to recognize and honor the person you were last year, the person who went through all the struggles, who adapted to all the challenges, who faced some really, really big challenges but got through them and did the very best they could with strength, with courage, with focus, with drive. And this doesn't necessarily mean that we all came out on top and we were the best that we could be because we overcame the challenges. Overcoming the challenges doesn't mean that we all didn't have a cry, that we didn't feel hopelessness, that we didn't feel like we were unsafe and we never knew when the end would be. Recognizing and honoring that person is also the person who is sitting here right now listening to this. You are still here. Forgive yourself for anything that happened that you might have regretted because you weren't sure of how to handle a situation. We're in quite a lot of uncertain and unforeseen circumstances. We didn't have the tools. We still don't have the tools. But I do believe we are all doing the very best that we can, that we know how to do. Take a deep breath in and exhale through the mouth. Let go. And now what we're going to do is actually bring to mind a particular child or family that you knew were really doing it tough, that you really knew needed extra support, and perhaps you gave it to them. Perhaps there wasn't so much that you could do, but recognize and honor their struggle and offer them anything that you can. Offer them goodwill, offer them your blessings. Offer them love, peace, hope, or anything else. You might even like to put a hand over your heart as you do that, just so you can really connect with that person, with that family, with that child. And then take a deep breath in and let it go. All right, so keep your eyes closed. The last part of the meditation is going to involve you coming up with some kind of intention or purpose or affirmation to guide you through this year. So hopefully you've got a little bit of an understanding now, or quite a deep understanding of what it is would be best for you, having reflected on the recurring themes from last year, the big lessons that you learnt. An intention is something that that is living within us. That's something that we want to embody, that will manifest its way into every action, every thought, every interaction that we have with another. So perhaps if you were like me and you learned how to go with the flow instead of resisting or forcing anything, then perhaps patience is your intention. Perhaps slowing down is your intention. I have a couple of other words for you that might give you a bit of context, inspiration as well. And those are abundance, action, gratitude, confidence, grace, ambition, growth, acceptance, wealth, and that could be wealth financially or wealth in connection, opportunities, professionally, a wealth of things. Trust, compassion, empathy, kindness, and surrender. There might have been some words that stood out for you and can really grasp hold of and perhaps make up your own affirmation from there. If anything's coming to you, remember to write it down. And please, in the comments as well, if you'd like to add anything. I've just read your comment now, Katie. That's so sweet, your little boy. Tell him that I think he's lovely too and that he's so lucky to have a mum like you. You'll have to let me know what his name is and I can say hi. Okay, so we've got Katie again. I love how interactive you are. This is amazing. So Katie, my affirmation words will be perspective. Oh, I like that. Perspective is a great one. And trust. Understanding the perspective of others and trusting myself in the decisions that I make. That is an affirmation and a half. I absolutely love that. I want to say it again. Understanding the perspective of others and trusting myself in the decisions that I make. Hand on heart, say that every day when you wake up. I'm going to say that every day when I wake up. That's absolutely beautiful. I hope that's inspired everyone else who's listening. Thank you so much for sharing that, Katie. The chat line is open, people. Please share with me and everyone else who's viewing your affirmation for this new year. And I like to start off with the words rather than having this really overwhelming kind of oh gosh, I need to come up with this phrase or this really catchy affirmation. If you've got the words like perspective, like trust, like abundance, gratitude, grace, confidence, whatever, you can tweak those, you can work those into your affirmations. What have I got? So this actually, I have to admit that this isn't my own affirmation. I read this and I think this is going to be really, really important for me this year. I let go of the things I cannot control. Wowza. For me, that's a really big one, especially, like I said, I'm quite a driven and ambitious person. I don't often take no for an answer, which can be a good thing, which can be a bad thing. I don't give up easily, but sometimes having a little bit of grace, a bit of humbleness, a bit of acceptance, all these words that keep coming up can definitely provide me with a bit of peace that I need to let go of the things that I can't control. Yeah, because what else do we do with things we can't control? We just suffer, right? We just suffer. Okay, so anyone else out there that would like to contribute before I give you the last few affirmations and we conclude the session? I trust that everyone has something within. And if it doesn't make sense now, that's okay. Like, it might come to you, just before you nod off to sleep, or it might come to you first thing in the morning, might come to you next week. Who knows? You can always watch this again and go through the process and see if it's different this time next week or next month. All right, so let me read out some other affirmations for some inspiration. So if you like, you can close your eyes, hand over the heart. I am exactly where I'm meant to be. I am exactly where I'm meant to be. I will enter this year with an open heart and an open mind. I will enter this year with an open heart and an open mind. I let go of the things I cannot control. I let go of the things I cannot control. I will make myself and my well-being a priority. I need to say that one again for sure. I will make myself and my well-being a priority. I will see opportunities in every moment. I will see opportunities in every moment. And my greatest freedom is how I respond. My greatest freedom is how I respond. And again, that, I have to say, that wasn't my affirmation per se. That was from a book. I can't actually remember what it was. When I do remember, I'll quote it. I'll reference it. But what a really powerful way to word our responses. The responsibility that we actually have. It's a freedom to respond to things. So the way that I perceive that is that we've got all our stories, we've got all these things happening in our mind that are our biases that affect the way that we see situations and respond to people, respond to events, respond to ourselves. But it's actually a freedom that we have. We're not stuck in our stories. They're not true. They're just, and all of our encounters that we've experienced throughout our life have created an imprint in the mind. And in yoga, this is known as your Samskara. So memories that have an imprint that will cloud or color the way that we perceive situations. And most of the time, this is completely unconscious. All of the time, really. We don't ever intentionally try to hurt somebody. And even if we do try to intentionally hurt somebody or, somehow the wrong thing comes out, it's It's quite often because we've conditioned ourselves to respond a certain way. And this is why workshops like this and practices like this can really get us out of our mind, can help us to see our own situation from a bird's eye view, or like we're a fly on the wall, just observing ourselves, right? We are becoming objective to our own lives. And this is really important. This is really courageous work to do this on a regular basis. And it's good for everyone. It's good to be able to get that perspective, exactly what Katie was saying. So yeah, and I'm glad that you resonate with that. And yes, absolutely, Katie. Can't always control many things, but you can control how you respond. And, a lot of the time when I do speak about well-being for educators and, the tools and techniques that we can use, a lot of people will go, well, we really need systemic change in the sector. And I completely agree with that. I don't think that doing a bit of meditation is going to fix how the government perceives early childhood, how society perceives early childhood. I don't think that it's going to fix our working rights or equality in pay or anything like that. But I would like to do what I can to empower you guys to share wellbeing tips and techniques to the people that I believe matter a hell of a lot in society. And I'm still one of those people. I'm still an educator. All of these techniques that I've learned throughout my life have helped me immensely, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, professionally. And I want to share those things. And I love hosting workshops. I love doing these lives and having you guys respond to all these things. I love interviewing people and getting their perspective on life. And, all these things are free. You're welcome to interact with them and contribute toward them in any way that you feel. It's just an offering from me to you. And it's a way that I practice selflessness. It's the way that I practice what I preach. And, there's lots of things involved in what I do. So I don't want anyone to think that all this stuff is just a fix for the pandemic or a fix for systemic change. It's a small offering, and I hope that it makes even a tiny bit of difference to your everyday life and your well-being in every realm, every dimension. So unless anyone has anything else that they'd like to share before we finish our workshop tonight, I might have to let you go and let you enjoy the rest of your evening. If this has been a bit heavy for you, I would recommend to take a bit of time before you go to sleep, just to take a few deep breaths and, consciously release yourself from all of the work that we've done. And so what does that mean, consciously release yourself? Just repeating the words, I let go now. I let go. I've got tomorrow, I've got the weekend, I've got next week to keep working on this. Remember, all these things that we do are a work in progress, and change does not happen like that. If there's anything that practicing yoga or practicing any kind of mindfulness technique or any spiritual endeavor has taught me, is that it takes a lot of discipline, a lot of effort, and a lot of trust. So... oh, thank you, Amanda. You're going to make me cry. It's really lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you for being such a huge part of everything that I've offered last year. It's always been great to see you pop up. All right, everyone. Well, I hope that you enjoyed the workshop. I hope you got something out of that. If you have any questions at all about anything, if you want a bit of advice on something, you want a bit of guidance, a bit of inspiration, even a book to read, please get in touch with me. You can message me on the Facebook page, Instagram. My email is info@belongbebecome.com. That's pretty much it. Yeah. And if you feel that you'd like to maybe organise a seminar or workshop for your team, get in touch with me on any of those platforms as well. I have a few coming up this year, and it's a really nice way to start off the year. It helps to bring your team together when we start talking about well-being. Yeah, it's actually, I didn't realize how effective it would be in creating a strong team dynamic. It's been really powerful, because a lot of us tend to forget we all have different well-being needs, you know, like what one person might need on an emotional level is different to what another person needs, and it creates quite a lot of compassion in the workplace. So yeah, lots of really great reasons to have a seminar or workshop for your team. And if you're interested, like I said, get in touch with me. Otherwise, enjoy your evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. It means everything to me. Stay in touch, follow on Instagram, sign up to the newsletter for your weekly wellbeing inspiration. And I hope to see you all again very soon. Good evening, good night. Thank you.